She was the perfect wife, the perfect teacher, the perfect neighbor. But Sophia Carter was living a lie. Behind closed doors, this beloved high school English teacher was carrying on not one, not two, but 5 separate affairs with adults in her community. Her husband had no idea. Her colleagues had no idea. Her students' parents had no idea. Until one of her lovers found out about the others, and when jealousy turned to rage, Sophia Carter's web of lies came crashing down in the most brutal way imaginable. This is the true story of forbidden love, obsession, and murder in the quiet town of Riverside, Connecticut. Before we dive into this twisted case, make sure you hit that subscribe button and comment down below what state you're watching from. We're building the biggest true crime community here at American Shadow, and we want to hear from you. Now, let's uncover the dark secrets of Sophia Carter. The Perfect Life, Riverside, Connecticut. Population, 8,000. An affluent suburb about 45 minutes from New York City. Tree-lined streets, beautiful colonial homes, top-rated schools, the kind of place where nothing bad ever happens. Sophia Carter seemed to have it all. At 34 years old, she was one of the most popular teachers at Riverside High School. She taught AP English literature. Students loved her. Parents raved about her. She'd won Teacher of the Year twice in 5 years. Sophia was beautiful. There's no other way to put it. 5'7", long blonde hair, athletic build. She looked more like a model than a teacher. She dressed impeccably, always professional. But there was something about her that turned heads. She'd been married to her husband, David Carter, for 9 years. David was 42, a successful investment banker in Manhattan. He worked long hours, made great money, gave Sophia everything she wanted. They lived in a gorgeous 4-bedroom colonial on Maple Street, white picket fence, perfectly manicured lawn, 2 golden retrievers. From the outside, they were the American dream. But inside that perfect house, Sophia was desperately unhappy. David was never home. When he was home, he was exhausted. Their marriage had become routine, boring, passionless. Sophia craved attention. She craved excitement. She craved to feel wanted. And so, she began to look elsewhere. The first affair. It started innocently enough. March of 2022. Sophia was at the gym, the same gym she'd been going to for 3 years. That's where she met Trevor Mitchell. Trevor was 28, personal trainer, tall, muscular, charming. He'd recently moved to Riverside from California. Single, no baggage. He started training Sophia twice a week. During their sessions, they talked, laughed, flirted. Trevor had no idea Sophia was married. She never wore her wedding ring to the gym, never mentioned David. As far as Trevor knew, Sophia was a single teacher looking to get in shape. After about a month of training sessions, Trevor asked Sophia out for coffee. She said yes. Coffee turned into dinner. Dinner turned into drinks. And drinks turned into something more. According to text messages later recovered by police, Sophia told Trevor she was married during their 3rd date. Trevor didn't care. He was infatuated with her. The affair continued for months. They met at Trevor's apartment, sometimes at hotels in neighboring towns, never in Riverside. Sophia was careful. David had no idea. But here's where things get complicated. Sophia didn't stop with Trevor. The web of lies. By the summer of 2022, Sophia Carter was juggling 5 different affairs. Let me break them down for you. Trevor Mitchell, the personal trainer. This was her longest-running affair. They'd been seeing each other for 4 months. Marcus Holland. Marcus was a parent at Riverside High. His daughter was in Sophia's AP English class. 40 years old, divorced, wealthy real estate developer. The affair started at a parent-teacher conference in May. Marcus invited Sophia to discuss his daughter's grades over dinner. One thing led to another. Brian Kepler, another teacher at Riverside High, 36 years old, married with 2 kids, taught chemistry. He and Sophia had been colleagues for years. The affair started during summer break when they were both working on curriculum planning. Late nights at the school, empty classrooms. It was reckless. Jason Reeves, the owner of a local wine bar called the Vintage Cellar, 43 years old, never married. Sophia started going to his wine bar alone when David worked late. She and Jason hit it off. He'd close the bar early, and they'd spend hours talking. And then, more than talking, Daniel Foster. This one was different. Daniel was 61 years old, a retired orthodontist, widower. He lived 3 houses down from Sophia and David. He was lonely. Sophia would jog past his house every morning. They'd wave. They'd chat. Then, Sophia started stopping by, bringing him coffee, keeping him company. Daniel fell hard for her. 5 men, 5 separate relationships, all happening at the same time. Sophia was living a double life. No, a sextuple life. And somehow, she was keeping it all together. The lies, the scheduling, the excuses to David, until one of her lovers started getting suspicious. The jealous lover, Trevor Mitchell, was in love with Sophia. He wanted more than stolen afternoons at his apartment. He wanted a real relationship. He wanted Sophia to leave David. In August of 2022, Trevor gave Sophia an ultimatum. "Leave him," Trevor said, "or we're done." Sophia panicked. She didn't want to lose Trevor, but she also didn't want to leave David, her comfortable life, her beautiful house, David's money. So, she lied. Again. "I'm working on it," Sophia told Trevor. "I need time. Divorce is complicated. Please, just be patient with me." Trevor believed her. For a while. But then, he started noticing things. Sophia would cancel plans at the last minute. She'd say she had to work late, or that David surprised her with dinner plans, but Trevor started to wonder. Was she really with David? Or was there someone else? One evening in early September, Trevor decided to follow Sophia. She'd told him she couldn't meet him because she had a faculty meeting at school. But Trevor drove to Riverside High anyway. He parked across the street. And he waited. Sophia's car was in the parking lot. So, maybe she was telling the truth. But then, around 8 p.m., Sophia came out of the school. She wasn't alone. She was with another man. A man Trevor didn't recognize. Brian Kepler, the chemistry teacher. Trevor watched as Sophia and Brian got into Brian's car. They drove off together. Trevor followed them. They ended up at a cheap motel, 20 minutes outside of Riverside. Trevor sat in his car, watching as Sophia and this other man checked into a room together. He was devastated, furious, betrayed, but Trevor didn't confront them. Not yet. Instead, he started digging. He started watching Sophia more closely, following her, tracking her movements. And that's when he discovered the truth. Sophia wasn't just cheating on her husband. She was cheating on Trevor, with multiple men. Trevor found out about Marcus, about Jason, about Daniel. He didn't know all the details, but he knew enough. Sophia Carter was playing all of them. The Confrontation, September 23, 2022. Trevor Mitchell had reached his breaking point. He texted Sophia that morning, told her they needed to talk, in person, immediately. Sophia could tell something was wrong. Trevor's texts were cold, short, not like him. She agreed to meet him at his apartment that evening. When Sophia arrived, Trevor was waiting, and he was different, angry. His jaw was clenched. His eyes were cold. "Who is he?" Trevor asked immediately. Sophia played dumb. "Who's who? What are you talking about?" "The guy from the school. The one you went to the motel with." Sophia's face went pale. She'd been caught. "Trevor, I can explain." "Explain what? That you've been lying to me? That you've been sleeping with someone else? Sophia tried to salvage the situation. She admitted to the affair with Brian, but she swore it was over. She swore Brian meant nothing. She begged Trevor to forgive her. But Trevor wasn't done. Who else, Sophia? Because I've been watching you, and I know there's more than just him. Sophia's hands were shaking. She didn't know what to say. Trevor pulled out his phone. He showed her photos he'd taken. Photos of Sophia leaving Jason's wine bar late at night. Photos of her car parked outside Marcus Holland's house. Photos of her jogging to Daniel Foster's home and not leaving for hours. You're sick, Trevor said. You're a liar. You're using all of us. According to Trevor's later testimony, Sophia broke down. She started crying, begging. She admitted everything, all 5 affairs. She said she had a problem. She said she needed help. I never meant to hurt you, Sophia sobbed. I never meant to hurt anyone. I just wanted to feel alive again. Trevor told her to get out, to never contact him again. But as Sophia was leaving, Trevor said something that would prove to be prophetic. Does your husband know? Do any of their wives know? Sophia shook her head. Please don't tell anyone. Please. Why shouldn't I? Why shouldn't everyone know what kind of person you really are? Sophia left without answering. But Trevor's words haunted her. Because Trevor Mitchell was about to blow up her entire life. The threats begin the next day. Trevor sent an email, not just to Sophia, but to David Carter, to Brian Kepler's wife, to Marcus Holland, to Jason Reeves, to Daniel Foster. The email was simple. It read, Ask Sophia Carter who she's really been spending her time with. She's been lying to all of you, I have proof. All hell broke loose. David confronted Sophia that evening. She tried to deny it. But David had already started digging. He'd checked her phone records, her credit card statements, her GPS history. The evidence was damning. Sophia finally confessed. Not to all 5 affairs, but to 2, Trevor and Brian. She said it was a mistake. She said she'd end it. She begged David to forgive her. David was shattered. He moved out that night, went to stay at a hotel. Brian Kepler's wife kicked him out of their house, filed for divorce immediately. Marcus Holland was furious. He felt used. He'd actually developed feelings for Sophia. He'd thought she felt the same way. Jason Reeves was embarrassed. Word was spreading around Riverside. His wine bar's reputation was being damaged. And Daniel Foster, the elderly widower, was heartbroken. He'd thought Sophia genuinely cared about him. Sophia's life was imploding. But it was about to get so much worse. Because someone, one of her jilted lovers, was planning something dark. The Disappearance, October 7th, 2022. Sophia Carter didn't show up for work. This was unusual. Sophia never missed work. She was reliable, punctual. The school secretary called her cell phone. No answer. She called Sophia's home. No answer. The principal asked David if he knew where Sophia was, but David and Sophia were barely speaking. He had no idea. By that evening, when Sophia still hadn't shown up or called, her principal contacted the police. The Riverside Police Department sent officers to Sophia's house. Her car was in the driveway. The front door was unlocked. Inside, everything looked normal. No signs of struggle, no signs of forced entry. But Sophia was gone. Her phone was on the kitchen counter. Her purse was there, her wallet, her keys. It was as if she'd just vanished. The police immediately suspected foul play. They started interviewing everyone in Sophia's life. David, her colleagues, her friends, and of course, her lovers, Trevor Mitchell, Marcus Holland, Brian Kepler, Jason Reeves, Daniel Foster. 5 men who all had motive. 5 men who'd all been humiliated, betrayed, exposed. One of them, the police believed, had killed Sophia Carter. But which one? The investigation. The investigation into Sophia Carter's disappearance became the biggest case in Riverside's history. Police obtained search warrants for all 5 men's homes, cars, cell phone records, bank accounts. They found a lot. Trevor Mitchell had been texting Sophia obsessively in the days before she disappeared. Angry texts, threatening texts. "You ruined my life. You're going to pay for this. Everyone will know what you are." Marcus Holland had withdrawn $10,000 in cash from his bank account the day before Sophia vanished. When asked about it, he refused to answer without a lawyer. Brian Kepler had scratches on his arms. He claimed they were from his kid's cat. But investigators were suspicious. Jason Reeves had closed his wine bar early on October 6th, the night before Sophia disappeared. His usual staff wasn't there. He said he was doing inventory, alone. Daniel Foster seemed the least likely suspect. He was 61 years old, frail, heartbroken, but investigators couldn't rule him out. Days turned into weeks, no body, no witnesses, no clear suspect. And then, a hiker made a gruesome discovery. The body November 2nd, 2022. A hiker was exploring a remote trail in Sleeping Giant State Park, about 30 minutes from Riverside. The trail was rarely used. Dense woods, rocky terrain. That's where the hiker smelled something terrible. Following the smell, the hiker discovered a shallow grave, partially uncovered, likely by animals. Inside was Sophia Carter's body. She'd been dead for weeks. The medical examiner estimated time of death to be around October 6th or 7th. Cause of death: blunt force trauma to the head. Multiple strikes, likely with a heavy object. A rock, a tire iron, something similar. Sophia had also been strangled. Manually. The killer had used their hands. This wasn't a crime of passion, this was rage. Pure, unfiltered rage. The killer had beaten Sophia, strangled her, and then hidden her body in the woods. The case was now a homicide investigation. Police intensified their efforts. They re-interviewed all 5 suspects, and one of them cracked. The arrest, November 10th, 2022. Police arrested Marcus Holland, the real estate developer, the parent of one of Sophia's students, one of her 5 lovers. Here's what broke the case wide open. Investigators had been analyzing cell phone tower data. They discovered that Marcus Holland's phone had pinged near Sleeping Giant State Park on October 6th, the day Sophia disappeared. When confronted with this evidence, Marcus initially denied being there, but police pushed harder. They told Marcus they had witness statements. They told him they had forensic evidence. They told him it was only a matter of time before he was charged. That's when Marcus Holland confessed. The confession. In the interrogation room, Marcus Holland told police everything. He said he'd been in love with Sophia, that he'd genuinely believed she loved him too, that he'd been planning to leave his business, to start a new life with her. But then, Trevor Mitchell's email came, and Marcus realized he'd been played. "I felt like an idiot," Marcus said in his confession. "She made me believe I was special, that what we had was real, but I was just another one." Marcus said he'd tried calling Sophia after receiving Trevor's email. She wouldn't answer. So, he drove to her house on October 6th. It was evening. David had already moved out. Sophia was home alone. Marcus confronted her, demanded answers, asked her if anything between them had been real. Sophia, according to Marcus, laughed at him. "She said I was pathetic," Marcus told police. "She said all of us were pathetic. She said we were easy targets, that we'd believed whatever she told us." Marcus said he snapped. "I grabbed her. I didn't mean to hurt her. I just wanted her to stop laughing. But she wouldn't stop. She kept saying horrible things. About me, about the others." Marcus said Sophia tried to run. He chased her outside, into the backyard. That's where he hit her. with a decorative garden stone from Sophia's own yard. She fell. He hit her again, and again. "I don't even remember strangling her," Marcus said. I just remember her going limp. And then, I realized what I'd done." Marcus panicked. He put Sophia's body in the trunk of his car, drove to Sleeping Giant State Park, a place he knew from hiking with his daughter. He buried Sophia in a shallow grave, covered her with leaves and branches. Then, he went home, like nothing had happened. The trial. Marcus Holland's trial began in June of 2023. He was charged with first-degree murder. The prosecution argued that Marcus had planned to kill Sophia, that the $10,000 he'd withdrawn was meant to be used to flee after the murder, that he'd lured Sophia to her death. The defense argued it was a crime of passion, that Marcus had been emotionally manipulated by Sophia, that he'd snapped in a moment of extreme emotional distress. They painted Sophia as a master manipulator, a woman who destroyed multiple lives with her lies. The trial was explosive. Trevor Mitchell testified. He described his relationship with Sophia, his devastation when he discovered her other affairs. Brian Kepler testified. His marriage was destroyed. His career was ruined. He'd lost everything. Jason Reeves testified. His business had suffered. His reputation in the community was tarnished. Daniel Foster testified. The elderly widower broke down on the stand. He said Sophia had made him feel young again, made him feel loved, and then he'd learned it was all a lie. David Carter testified. He described the betrayal, the humiliation, the end of his marriage. He'd loved Sophia, and she'd destroyed him. But the most controversial testimony came from the defense's character witnesses. They argued that Sophia Carter had been a narcissist, a sociopath even, that she'd targeted vulnerable men, that she'd manipulated them, used them, destroyed them. The prosecution objected. They argued that no matter what Sophia had done, she didn't deserve to die, that Marcus Holland was a murderer, period. The jury deliberated for 5 days. The verdict, July 18, 2023. The jury found Marcus Holland guilty of second-degree murder, not first-degree. The jury believed it wasn't premeditated, but they also believed it wasn't just a crime of passion. Marcus had made a choice. He'd beaten Sophia to death. He'd strangled her. He'd hidden her body. The judge sentenced Marcus Holland to 30 years to life in prison. In the courtroom, Marcus showed no emotion. He simply nodded, accepted his fate. Sophia's parents were there. They'd sat through every day of the trial, listening to intimate details about their daughter's affairs, about her lies, about her death. "Our daughter wasn't perfect," Sophia's mother said in a statement after the verdict. "But she didn't deserve to die. She didn't deserve to be beaten and strangled and thrown away like garbage. Marcus Holland is a murderer, and he deserves to spend the rest of his life in prison." Marcus Holland was led away in handcuffs. In the aftermath, the Sophia Carter case sent shockwaves through Riverside, Connecticut. Riverside High School brought in crisis counselors. Students were devastated. Parents were outraged. How had this happened? How had no one noticed? Brian Kepler resigned from his teaching position. His divorce was finalized. He moved out of state, started over. Trevor Mitchell left Riverside too. He said he couldn't stay in a place with so many painful memories. Jason Reeves sold the vintage cellar, left town. He couldn't handle the constant gossip, the stares, the judgment. Daniel Foster, the elderly widower, became a recluse. He rarely left his house. Neighbors said he was never the same after Sophia's death. David Carter sold the house on Maple Street, the beautiful colonial with the white picket fence. Too many memories, too much pain. He moved to Boston, started therapy, tried to rebuild his life. The questions that remain. The Sophia Carter case raises so many questions. Why did she do it? Why did she carry on 5 separate affairs? Was it narcissism? Was it a compulsion? Was it simply thrill-seeking? Psychologists who've studied the case have theories. Some say Sophia suffered from a personality disorder, that she needed constant validation, constant attention, that the affairs weren't about sex, they were about power, about control. Others say Sophia was deeply unhappy in her marriage, that she was looking for something, anything, to make her feel alive. And that one affair turned into 5, because she couldn't stop. We'll never know the truth, because Sophia Carter can't tell her side of the story. But here's what we do know. Sophia Carter hurt people. A lot of people. She lied. She manipulated. She destroyed marriages, careers, lives. Does that mean she deserved to die? Absolutely not. But it does mean her choices had consequences, devastating consequences. Marcus Holland made a choice too, a choice to kill, to take a life, to hide a body. And now, he's paying for that choice, with the rest of his life. Where are they now? Today. Marcus Holland is serving his sentence at Cheshire Correctional Institution in Connecticut. He'll be eligible for parole in 2048. He's 65 years old now. By the time he's eligible for release, he'll be 90. Trevor Mitchell, Brian Kepler, Jason Reeves, and Daniel Foster have all moved on. They don't speak to the media. They've tried to rebuild their lives away from the shadow of Sophia Carter. David Carter remarried in 2024. He has a baby daughter now. He says he's finally found peace. Sophia's parents still live in Connecticut. They visit her grave every week. They say they've forgiven Marcus Holland, but they'll never forget what he took from them. The house on Maple Street where Sophia and David lived has been sold 3 times since the murder. No family stays there long. The stigma is too much. Final thoughts. The Sophia Carter case is a cautionary tale about lies, about betrayal, and about what happens when those lies catch up with you. Sophia Carter made choices, bad choices. She hurt people. She destroyed lives. But she was still a human being. She was still someone's daughter, someone's wife, someone's friend, and she didn't deserve to be murdered. Marcus Holland will spend the rest of his life behind bars. His anger, his rage, his inability to walk away cost him everything. 5 affairs, 1 murder, countless lives destroyed. What do you think? Was Sophia Carter a victim? Or did her actions lead to her own demise? Do you feel sympathy for Marcus Holland? Or do you believe he deserves every year of his sentence? Comment down below and let us know. And don't forget to tell us what state you're watching from. We love hearing from our American Shadow family all across America. If this case shocked you, hit that like button and subscribe for more true crime stories that will make you question everything. We post new videos every day. And remember, secrets always come to light. And when they do, the consequences can be deadly. I'm American Shadow, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe out there.